Okay, greetings everybody. Today's topic is so-called black women once again. Saturday the 18th, 2026, I had pulled up to a church food pantry for food. I took one of the striped no parking spots like most of us usually do on them days. Yet I get a so-called white woman that I know listen to a so-called black woman because the two so-called black women was on the passenger side that I pulled up on. The so-called white woman was in the driver's seat, and she got out the car telling us to move because she had disabled people in her car, and she did not, and wasn't in a handicapped spot, but had a handicap tag, and we had a handicap sticker. And a 16-year-old little boy that just had eye surgery that Thursday, which was 2 days ago, and was going to have the other eye surgery next Tuesday. He barely could see. And his mother had hip replacement and knee surgery a month earlier and a toe surgery a month earlier, yet she had another son that had a speech impairment, and all of us were disabled getting SSI benefits. However, the devil is always around us or up in the church. I moved back after one so-called black woman had laughed and moved once again closer back to the spot because until another spot became available. Yet afterward, I gave them the finger and started disrespecting them outside the car and told them to suck my you-know-what. I knew this was not okay to say, but I did it anyway because they do what they do and I'm going to get away and do what I do. One of my other so-called black friends came over to calm me down and started to chill. I started to chill a little bit. Long story short, this is why I have animosity toward most so-called black women, because of their games they think I don't see. Yet I see all, and this is why a lot of men don't want them. Most of them are evil and just plain out stupid and dumb, not alone very petty and very ignorant. The childish games these women play are completely ridiculous, yet I know it's not all of them. Yet, when they have a reason not to date so-called black men, it's okay. So it's okay also for me to feel the way I feel about them. I have been traumatized by so-called black women throughout my whole life, even my own loving mother. Real talk. Y'all want us to continue to be suckers for so-called black women. Not happening with me. My mother taught me to be a sucker only for myself. I recognize how the two so-called black women set up the so-called white women to be attacked by me by putting her in harm's way. This is what they do, act like kids. Even in slavery, which they get all the credit for by raising us up, yet only for the slave masters' job cycle, according to the Willie Lynch papers, future labor force. They raise us and keep us on an illusionary, they keep us in an illusionary world, telling us lies about God Almighty and so-called Jesus Christ. They even tell us lies about Christianity, Christmas, Easter, and Halloween. How awful and pathetic this is. These paganistic rituals and holidays are insane now that I have finally grown up to an age to understand all of the lies they taught us. And slavery, oh my God. They sold us out to the slave masters for their protection and their benefits. According to the Willie Lynch papers, which I have 4 copies of, and you can go to the site that they are trying to hide on the internet. The site they're trying to hide on the internet today on thetalkingdrum.com/will.html. The TheTalkingDrum.com/WIL.html. This is where they try to hide it. You try to look for the Willie Lynch on the internet now. They got all these other things that pop up, which makes it hard for you to find it. But you can go straight to it on here. Slavery was an orchestrated, well-planned attack upon so-called black people. Yet conditioning had occurred within the mindsets of the majority of so-called black women due to fear of the slave masters' punishments upon them. This is what they have left out of the history books. On purpose to continue to deceive us by putting the sellout so-called black women on the pedestal. She delivered us up to the slave masters even after they raped her and molested her children. Facts untold. Hate it all you want, but let the truth be told. Y'all get too much credit for destroying the minds of the so-called black race. Then blame it on the man. But y'all raising the boys and the men. Whoa! Isaiah 3:12, the Bible. The Gideon is the best one, and the Ethiopian Bible. Children are the oppressors, yet women rule over them, causing them to err and destroy the way of your path. Let's reread that. Isaiah 3:12. Children are the oppressors. We know children are the oppressors. Yet women rule over them, causing them to err and destroy the way of your path. Some Bibles, they change the words so you can't understand them. Like in a lot of Bibles, they change the word, take out the word Canaanite, and put the word merchant or trader in so you don't know who the tribe of Canaan is when they was cursed with leprosy, according to Leviticus 13. Right? It talks about leprosy, a skin disease, of mold, dry rot, mildew. If you touch it, your fingers will fall off back then. Right? This only applied to one type of people. Canaanites. Okay? You figure it out when you look at it. It'll tell you about the yellow hair. It'll tell you about the white hair, you see, and the white skin. Right? Again, children are the oppressors, yet women rule over them, causing them to err and destroy the way of your path. See? So, you ain't following God. You following the devil and don't even know it. Right? Then you developing devil characters. This is said by God Almighty in the Old Testament. You will be surprised to find out things in the Old Testament that they do not want you to know, nor discover to the public about their lies even in the church. This is why I said, why have a whole Bible and only read half of it like they teach us? Yet I didn't listen, so I read the whole Bible and find the whole truth about all their lies about God Almighty and the so-called Jesus, whose name really is Yeshua, the black man, not the white man. This is why I don't want a so-called black woman, even though I have a 42-year-old relationship with one so-called black woman. This is quite hectic. Asian women are more submissive and obedient to their men in a respectful way. Their culture is even more honorable. This shit is very unstable and unhealthy. Sometimes I ask myself, why did God Almighty make these demons for men? Genesis 2:18. It is not good that man be alone, so I shall make for him women to be a partner unto him. Also, in Genesis 1:26, God said he will make man in his image, and that man should rule over the whole earth and every creeping thing in it. How can man rule over the whole earth and every creeping thing in it when he's being ruled by a woman? Okay, also it says in Genesis 3:16, your desire shall be for your husband and he shall rule over you. This is the part of the hidden secrets. I'd rather be a damn monk instead and restrained from having sex like the Shaolin monks do. I don't have no children anyway. These bees are unstable and miserable as hell. Again, this is why I'd rather have me a foreign wife from Asia that has more class and dignity than these rats running loose around me. And this is just what they are. I assault them just like they assault us men and get away with it. Now it's my turn. Soon, my book called The Hidden Secrets will be finished and completed after 5 years of writing for the public, especially young little men that have been kept in the dark for so long with many lies. Peace.